Hello, I'm Jack Nichols and welcome to highlights of the 2010 AutoGP Formula SimRacing World Championship. The final round of the championship is the Grand Prix of Abu Dhabi, held at the spectacular Yas Marina circuit. Featuring 21 corners, this track has plenty of overtaking opportunities and provides a fantastic backdrop for the final race of the season. Twister Racing's Atsej Kirchhoff set the pole position with a time more than 0.3 of a second faster than Bono Huis in second. Bruno Marquez qualified in third, ahead of Mikko Puumalainen in fourth. Dennis Hurl continued his impressive form to qualify fifth, and David Dominguez achieved his best ever result in qualifying to start in sixth position. Off the start line, it looked like Kirchhoff's launch was more than enough to keep him in first place, but Huis made a surprising pass up the inside to take over the top spot. Marquez remained in third, and Hurl got around Puumalainen's outside after an overcautious start from the fin. As everyone settled down into their rhythm, Huis was unable to create a gap over the Twister cars, and he was forced to take the defensive line several times to fend off Kirchhoff. With the aid of a strong draft, Kirchhoff eventually made the pass on lap 4, but he struggled to get away from Huis, and despite having to hold off Marquez behind him, Huis comfortably held on to Kirchhoff's rear wing. In fourth place, Hurl was gradually slipping further behind the leading trio, and just behind, Rasmus Tali then passed fifth place Puumalainen, only to lose the position on the exact same corner 2 laps later. Having spent nearly 10 laps in a Twister sandwich, Huis made a small mistake, missing his braking point and running wide. This moved Marquez into second position, but all 3 cars remained tightly packed together. Several laps later, Marquez got a good enough run out of the hairpin to slipstream alongside Kirchhoff and outbrake him to take the lead. Huis immediately attached himself to Kirchhoff's rear wing, seeing a good opportunity to pass on the following corner, but into the braking zone, slight contact was made between the 2 drivers, and Kirchhoff then lost control and hit the back of Marquez. Marquez kept his composure, and he seemed to have no damage to his rear, but Kirchhoff had lost his front wing, and he was forced to pit for repairs. Unsettled by the contact, Marquez then ran wide into the hairpin on the following lap, and not surprisingly, Huis jumped on the opportunity, getting a healthy slipstream and outbraking Marquez to retake the lead. In the space of 3 laps, the entire field made their one and only scheduled stop. Huis was the first to pit, and the Dutchman drove an amazing outlap to add nearly a second and a half to his lead over Marquez. With Marquez now out of his slipstream, it looked like Huis might easily run away with the lead. Dennis Hurl remained in a lonely third position, unable to keep up with the leading pair, but easily staying ahead of Mikko Puumalainen in fourth. After spending the entire first stint under pressure from Rasmus Tali, Puumalainen had managed to create a gap through the pit stops, a gap which Tali seemed unable to close back down. At the front, Marquez was doing a better job on the lighter fuel load than his main rival, and the Portuguese driver was quickly locked back onto Huis. Almost immediately, Marquez launched an attack, getting alongside Huis into turn 11, but Huis stood his ground and forced Marquez to yield. Despite the championship standings already being settled, it was clear that both drivers were desperate to take home the winner's trophy at the final round. Marquez then made an amazing pass around Huis's outside, but Huis immediately came back at him, retaking the position. Forcing his main rival onto the defensive line, Marquez then made a textbook passing manoeuvre on Huis, braking slightly earlier and getting a better run out of the corner to retake the lead. In fifth position, Rasmus Tali lost contact with Puumalainen, and he then came under pressure from Dominguez in sixth. Despite having a faster car, Dominguez couldn't get close enough to make a passing attempt, but Tali eventually locked up at the end of the main straight, and Dominguez easily slipped by. Unable to keep up with his Twister rival, Huis started to slip away from Marquez, and although he began to slowly reel him back in the closing stages of the race, Marquez comfortably held on to first position. In what could be his last ever FSR race, Bruno Marquez crossed the line to take his 26th career victory, winning the final round of the 2010 World Championship season. Championship winner Bono Huis drove another solid race to finish on the podium for the 13th time in a row, and Dennis Hurl put in another great performance to claim the final place on the podium. So let's have a look at the overall standings, and the season really was dominated by Bono Huis, the teenager totalling 330 points and finishing all but 3 races on the podium. Bruno Marquez had a somewhat difficult season, but the 3-time world champion did enough to hold on to an honourable second place. Rasmus Tali will no doubt be a strong championship contender next year, finishing just ahead of Jarkko Mikkonen, who also showed some incredible pace throughout the season. Ronnie Hannell finished in 5th in his first ever season in open wheelers, and last year's World Series winner Mikko Puumalainen finished an impressive 6th place. Struggling all year with the handling of the 2010 cars, a frustrated David Greco claimed 7th place. Dennis Hurl finished in 8th despite only competing in the latter half of the season. Croatian favourite Domagoj Malezic finished in 9th, and Australian Blair Disley showed enough consistency to hold on to 10th place. The constructors' standings were decimated by Precision Motorsports, the German outfit winning 11 of the 18 races this season. Twister Racing just held on to 2nd place in the standings, largely thanks to Marquez's last round win. Just behind, Precision's and Twister's sister teams, McCourt and SB Motorsports, finished in 3rd and 4th respectively. Go Speed Racing finished an impressive season in 5th place, and in their final season, Torum Motorsports claimed 6th position, almost solely from Disley's points tally. In the off-season, feel free to check out www.formula-simracing.net for general information on the FSR League and details on the upcoming 2011 season. You can also download the 2010 mod free of charge and see the archives of all the results, broadcasts and highlights. We hope you've enjoyed this season's highlights. I'm Jack Nichols, and we'll see you next year for the 2011 Formula Sim Racing World Championship.